Now today we will start from the rule of gamma emission. About alpha emission and beta emission I have told. Rule of alpha decay, alpha particle decay, rule of beta particles decay, that I have told. Now rule of gamma emission. So what are gamma radiations? These are the electromagnetic radiations which neither carry any charge nor carry any mass. Therefore, when gamma radiations will be emitted, then there will be no change in the mass number, no change in the atomic number, no change in atomic number, Z, no change in mass number, in mass number. Mass number means total number of nucleons, sum of protons and neutrons. That is called the mass number. When gamma rays are emitted, neither there will be any change in atomic number nor there will be any change in the mass number. And why? Because gamma radiations neither carry any charge nor carry any mass. But this emission will take place only when the nucleus which is emitting these radiations is in the excited energy state. It is in the excited energy state. Excited energy state means possess more energy than in the normal conditions that nucleus possess more energy than which it possesses in the normal conditions. It's clear. So when the nucleus will be in the excited energy state, it will emit the excess energy in the form of gamma ray photons, which we call as the gamma radiations. It's clear. Now see here, under which condition nucleus will be in the excited energy state. So see here, suppose any radioactive decay takes place. Suppose there is any radioactive decay takes place in which nucleus P emits some particle, either alpha particle or beta particle or both, and becomes Q. Particle P, here this is a nucleus P, which after emitting some particles becomes Q. Then this daughter nuclei will have the more energy. It will have the more energy than which it has in the normal conditions. It's clear. Therefore, what will happen? That energy will be emitted in the form of gamma radiations. And gamma radiations are usually emitted along with either alpha particle or beta particle. Means alpha and gamma radiations will be emitted, or beta and gamma radiations will be emitted. And why? Because when alpha decay will take place, what will happen? The daughter nuclei which is formed will have more energy. That energy is emitted in the form of gamma radiations. Similarly, when a nucleus emits beta particle, what will happen? It will, the daughter nuclei formed will possess more energy. Therefore, that extra energy will be emitted in the form of gamma radiation. So we will remember that when gamma emission take place, when gamma radiations are emitted by any nucleus, then neither there will be any change in its atomic number, nor there will be any change in the mass number. Only this radiation will emit only when the nucleus is in the excited energy state, means possess more energy than which it possesses in the normal conditions. It's clear. So that's why here I have put star. This star indicates that the nucleus is in the excited energy state. It's clear. Now one more thing. Alpha and beta cannot emit together by any nucleus. Suppose this is any nucleus. So either it will be an alpha emitter या it will be a beta emitter. मतलब ये emit करेगा तो या तो alpha emit करेगा या beta. It cannot emit both together. It's clear. See here. After emitting alpha, suppose it becomes Q. It's clear. Then once again it emits alpha, suppose become R. Once again, now it emits beta, becomes S, nucleus of some element S. And this decay will continue till it is reached to the stable nucleus. It reaches at the to the stable nucleus. It attains a stable nucleus. मतलब तब तक डिके होता रहेगा जब तक कि डाटर न्यूक्लियस क्या हो जाए, स्टेबल स्टेट में ना पहुंच जाए, मींस उससे फर्दर डिके ना हो सके, तब तक क्या है, इमिशन होता रहेगा। ये ऐसा नहीं है कि केवल अल्फा पार्ट की लिमिट किया और फिर रुक जाएगा। It has emitted alpha. Suppose this nucleus Q, it is still unstable. So what will happen? Now either it can emit alpha or it can emit beta. It's clear. So alpha and beta cannot emit together. It's clear. In any radioactive decay, alpha and beta can emit at the different timings. For example, at this moment it is alpha emitter, but at this moment it is beta emitter. But gamma radiations can emitted along with the alpha and beta. So these things are given in your book. Now after this, usage of radioisotopes, usage of radioactivity and radioisotopes. So all of you open your book, page 292. Already I know here opened the book. Let me bring it more close to you. All of you wait for a minute. Perhaps now it will be more visible to you. Yes. And you underline in your book. Here RTDIO underline. So you can underline. So you can see here usage of radioactivity and radioisotopes. What do you mean by radioisotopes? So as already I told that there are some elements in which the radioactivity is present from their birth, from their formation, the radioactivity is present. Means those elements are the natural radioactive elements. Those substances are the natural radioactive substances in which radioactivity has not been initiated. उनमें रेडियोएक्टिविटी को इनिशिएट नहीं किया गया, वो बाय बर्थ है उनमें. इट इज क्लियर. For example, uranium, thorium, polonium, radium, actinium, these are the natural radioactive elements. These are the natural radioactive substances in which the radioactivity has not been initiated. It is present from their birth. But there are some substances, there are some elements in which we can initiate the radioactivity. Radioactivity can be initiated and their atomic number is smaller than 82. Now, as we know that those elements, those atoms which show the property of those nuclei, because radioactivity is a nuclear phenomena. Radioactivity is a nuclear phenomena. Therefore, those nuclei which show the property of radioactivity, in them number of neutrons will be more than number of protons. That is N upon P ratio will be greater than 1. It's clear. So those elements whose atomic number is less than 82, in which radioactivity is not present from the beginning, but after some interaction, radioactivity is initiated. For example, normal carbon is 6C12. In the normal carbon, there are, what is normal carbon? You can see, let me take out the book here. It is the 6C12. This normal carbon can be converted into radioactive carbon, radiocarbon 6C14. Gamma ray convert it into the radiocarbon. C12 is the normal carbon, but this is the radioactive carbon. It's clear. Similarly, it can be converted this 7N14. When it emits a beta particle, what will happen? That 6C14. 6C14, when it emits a beta particle, it converts into 7N14. So these are the radioisotopes, those elements whose atomic number is smaller than 82 and shows the property of radioactivity are called the radioisotopes. You can see here the isotopes of some elements with atomic number less than 82 are also found to be radioactive. They are called radioisotopes. The nucleus of an atom becomes radioactive when the number of neutrons exceeds to the number of protons. It is the situation with isotopes of many stable elements. For example, here some isotopes are given. Cobalt 60, 27 CO60. You can see here. There are how many protons? So protons are 27. How many neutrons? So neutrons, you know, it is 60 minus 27. 60 minus 27, that is, it is equal to 33. And it is very important radioisotope which is used for treating the cancer, malignant cells of the cancer. So cobalt 60, it is a radioisotope. Carbon 6C14, carbon 14. Here protons are 6, neutrons are 14 minus 6, that is equals to 8. Potassium 40, 19K40. It is used as a tracer. Means तुम्हारे बॉडी में कहीं ब्लॉकेज है उसको यूज करने में, डायग्नोज करने में it is used. 19K40. What are number of protons are 19 and neutrons are 40 minus 19, that is 21. The radioisotopes are also prepared artificially by the nuclear transmutation. What is the meaning of transmutation? When in which the nucleus convert into the nucleus of some other element by emitting some particles. Nucleus changes into the nucleus of other element by emitting some particles. It's clear? That is called the nuclear isotope. That is called the nuclear transmutation. Now see here, what are the usage of the radioisotopes? So we will remember 3 usage of the radioisotopes, which are very important. Only 3 usage are enough. No need of medical use, industrial use, scientific use, nothing is required. It's clear. You can see here what is medical use. There are 2 very important medical usage, and we will write this much. If it is asked, you have to write this. Many diseases such as leukemia, cancer, etc. are cured by radiotherapy. Gamma radiations from cobalt 60. अगर ये use हम लिख रहे हैं, so in this we have to mention cobalt 60. It's clear? Without mentioning cobalt 60, the answer will be incomplete. So you remember this thing, that if you are writing the medical use, then you will write this one. Many diseases such as leukemia, cancer, etc. are cured by radiotherapy. It's clear? Now radiotherapy means the therapy by the gamma radiations. Gamma radiations from cobalt 60 are used to treat cancer by killing the cells in the malignant tumor of the patient. Malignant tumor means in which there are the harmful cells are present. It's clear? For radiotherapy, radiations must be able to penetrate the human skin. Only this much is required. This is the first medical use. अगर केवल एक ही मेडिकल यूज पूछा जा रहा है, then what will you do? You will write only this one. You will write only this one. Now there is one more medical use. This is the second use. It's clear. This one is the second. Gamma rays emitted by the radioisotopes are used to sterilize bandages, dressings, syringes, and other equipments to make them free of germs, so that there is no germs, so that they can be used without in the contaminated condition. This method is quicker, more reliable, and cheaper than the process of sterilization by heat. It's clear. We don't sterilize by the in medical equipments are don't sterilize by the heating in boiling in by putting them inside the boiling water. We don't sterilize them by putting them inside the boiling water. We sterilize by the gamma radiations, because this method is more safer. Gamma radiations emitted by radioisotopes are used to sterilize bandages, dressings, syringes, and other equipments to make them free of germs. This method is quicker, more reliable, it is more reliable and cheaper than the process of sterilization by heat. It's clear. This is the second use. If two uses are asked, so you will write this one as first and this one as the second. This you remember. ये पहला यूज होगा अगर दो यूजेज पूछे जाएंगे, and this will be the second. Suppose three usage has been asked in the question, then the third use you will write from here. Carbon dating. The age of excavated material of archaeological importance, rocks, and hence of buried plants is estimated by the study of rate of decay of carbon. In everything, carbon will be present. Now you can see here, in all these things, that in rocks, in the plants, carbon will be present. And their age is determined by the study of the rate of decay of carbon, 14, by beta emission in the remains of dead plant. And as you know that, this is the equation. 6C14, after emitting out the beta particle, it converts into 7N14. The process is called the carbon dating. This is the called carbon dating. So these three uses you will remember. Rest you can cut. No need. Only underlined portion you can mark. It's clear. You can see here once again. This much is underlined in this side, and this much is underlined in this side. Other things are not required. It's clear. Now after this, sources of harmful radiation. Yes. Sources of harmful radiation. Now you take. Yes, you can see here. And these two pages are very, very important. All of you go through this. You can see in your book. Now here you go through this. All these things are self-explanatory. They don't require any explanation, but you see once again. You see here. The main sources of harmful radiations are radioactive fallout from the nuclear power plant. Radioactive fallout means, now what are the nuclear power plants? Nuclear power plants are those places where electricity is produced by the nuclear energy, by the use of nuclear fission. न्यूक्लियर फिजन का यूज करके, न्यूक्लियर फिजन में क्या होता है, एक हेवी न्यूक्लियस लाइक यूरेनियम, इट स्प्लिट्स इनटू लाइटर न्यूक्लियाई. यूरेनियम 92U236, it splits into lighter nuclei of barium and krypton. plus large amount of energy is liberated. This large amount of energy is converted into electrical energy. So what are the nuclear power plants? Nuclear power plants, in the nuclear power plants, electricity is generated by the use of nuclear energy. This nuclear energy is obtained by the nuclear fission. It is obtained by the nuclear fission. In the nuclear fission, what will happen? A heavy nucleus will split into the lighter nuclei. For example, I am writing here 92U235. When it is bombarded by a slow neutron, then what will happen? It will form a unstable nucleus of uranium-236. Unstable nucleus of uranium-236. It will immediately split into barium 15,6Ba141 plus 36 Kr krypton 92 plus 3 fast neutrons plus huge amount of energy. Huge amount of energy will be liberated. Now you can see here, when this uranium-235 is bombarded by a slow neutron whose energy is of the order 0.03 electron volt, it forms a unstable nucleus of this. It will be absorbed by neutron को ये nucleus absorb कर लेगा. जब absorb कर लेगा तो यहाँ तो कुछ नहीं बढ़ेगा 92, but it will become 236. But because of this, nucleus will immediately split into nuclei of barium and krypton. Besides these two, 3 more neutrons will be produced with emission of large amount of energy, which we call as the nuclear energy. And this nuclear energy is converted into electrical energy in the nuclear power plant. It is clear. It is converted into electrical energy in the nuclear power plant. Now see here, since a very huge amount of energy is released, therefore a large amount of electrical energy will be produced. But this process is called the nuclear fission. It is called nuclear fission. Here nucleus has split into the lighter nuclei. Now see here, during this process, harmful radiations are also emitted out. Means alpha particles will emit, beta particles will emit, as well as gamma radiations will also be emitted out. And we know gamma radiations are producing immense biological damage. That's why these nuclear power plants are established in such a places which are very far from the locality, as well as they are surrounded by thick concrete and steel walls. इनको क्या करते हैं, न्यूक्लियर पावर प्लांट को थिक कंक्रीट और स्टील की वॉल से सराउंड कर देते, क्लोज कर देते, ताकि ये रेडिएशंस एनवायरनमेंट में स्प्रेड ना होने पाए. क्योंकि अगर ये रेडिएशंस किसी भी तरीके से एनवायरनमेंट में स्प्रेड हो गए, then what will happen? They will spread in whole environment through the air. They will travel the longer distances and move to the far off places, and then they will produce a immense biological damage. It's clear. So see here, when the leakage of these radiations takes place from the nuclear power plant, we say that thing as the nuclear fallout. We call that as the nuclear fallout. उसको क्या कहते हैं, न्यूक्लियर फॉलआउट कहते हैं. अगर किसी तरीके से वहां से न्यूक्लियर पावर प्लांट which is surrounded by thick concrete walls as well as through thick steel walls, these get leaked, then nuclear fallout take place. It's clear. And when nuclear fallout will take place, they will spread in the atmosphere. and not in the nearby atmosphere. They will spread in the far off places also. Because of air current, they will travel to the far off distances and producing immense biological damage. So you can see in your book, radioactive fallout from the nuclear power plant. The nuclear power plants are now a major source of electricity in the world. If somehow there is an accident in the reactor of the power plant, a large amount of radioactive material and radiations will escape out into the atmosphere. This will not only affect the population around the plant, but will also affect the life at far off places where they will reach due to the air current. 3 such accidents have already occurred. In USA on 28th March 1979, in Ukraine in USSR on 26th April 1986, and in Japan on 11th March 2011, जब सुनामी आई थी. These accidents caused damage to the reactor building and injuries to the persons working in the plants as well as to the persons in their vicinity. Now there is a nuclear waste. What is the meaning of nuclear waste? Now see here, when in nuclear power plant, this uranium will be consumed. जब ये split हो जाएगा, it will produce barium and krypton. But these barium and krypton will not be the normal barium and krypton. They will become radioactive. इनकी एक्टिविटी तो बहुत कम होगी, इमिशन तो बहुत ही कम करेंगे ये, but they will be radioactive. That's why this is called the radio waste. These are called the radioactive waste. Radioactive waste क्या है? वो radioactive material है whose activity has decreased very much, which cannot be further used. Which cannot be further used. It is clear. Its activity has decreased to a threshold value. एक threshold value से भी कम हो गई है. It cannot be used further. So see here, these radioactive materials are enclosed in a thick lead container. Why do we use lead container? Because radioactive radiations are not able to penetrate the lead containers. So see here, nuclear waste, the fuel rods used in the nuclear power reactors are rejected when their activity decreases below a certain level. They then become a nuclear waste. These rods are still quite radioactive and are the sources of harmful radiation. Therefore, they should not be dumped into open garbage. They can contaminate water and soil and affect the human and living organisms. And that's why they are enclosed in a thick lead container. It's clear? Now see here, other sources such as cosmic radiation and X-ray. Cosmic radiations are the harmful radiations coming from the other cosmos in the Earth. The cosmic radiations enter the, you can see here, the cosmic radiations enter the Earth's atmosphere from the sun and from the outer space. They contain a large number of high energy particles, out of which large number of charged particles are deviated by the Earth's magnetic field. But still a substantial amount of uncharged radiation such as gamma radiations and X-ray radiations are reaching on the Earth's atmosphere. It's clear? They are reaching. Charged radiations are not reaching because they are deviated by the Earth's magnetic field. But these uncharged radiations are reaching on the Earth's atmosphere and they cause the quite harmful, and these are quite harmful. So this is about the sources of harmful radiation. These are the 3 major sources of harmful radiations. One, because of the radioactive fallout from the nuclear power plant. Number 2, because of the nuclear wastes which are used in the nuclear power plant. So those materials after losing their activity becomes the nuclear waste, but still they are capable to emit the harmful radiations up to some extent. And third is this is the other sources such as cosmic radiation and X-rays. It's clear? For example, gamma radiations coming from the sun on the earth, X-rays. Now, harmful effects of radiation. What are the harmful effects of radiation? You can see in the book. Now see here. Harmful effects of the radiation. The radiations produced in a nuclear reaction includes alpha radiations, beta radiations, neutrons, gamma rays, and X-rays. It's clear? They interact with the living tissues within 10 to the power minus 14 seconds. Means जैसे ही ये contact में आएंगे, they will interact in 10 to the power minus 14 seconds and cause biological damage. The harmful biological effects of nuclear radiations are of three types. Number one, short-term recoverable effects. Number two, like diarrhea, sore throat, loss of hair, nausea, etc. Number two, long-term irrecoverable effects like leukemia and cancers. These two are limited up to the individuals, but there are some genetic effects which can go to that next generation also. They can transfer from one generation to the other generation. So the first two are limited to the individuals who are actually exposed to the radiations, while the third type of effects appear in the later generations of the person exposed to the radiation. The exposure to radiations can be acute if there is an accidental burst of radiations from an unshielded source, which we call as the radioactive fallout. इसको हम लोग क्या कहते हैं? Radioactive fallout. Because in that case, what will happen? Large amount of intense radioactive radiations will spread not only in the vicinity, they will reach up to the far off places through the air currents. So the exposure to the radiations can be acute if there is an accidental burst of radiations from an unshielded source. Similarly, it is chronic in case of persons working in atomic energy establishments when they get exposed to such radiations. The exposure of pregnant women to X-rays for a long time may affect the child in the womb. It increases the risk of cancer by 40% of tumor. The exposure to gamma rays, the exposure to gamma rays destroys the cells of the body and affects the blood cells, gastrointestinal tract, GI tract, reproductive and hair cells. It can harm DNA and RNA of the living cells also. So there are some safety precautions while using nuclear energy. When we are dealing with the nuclear energy, then there are certain safety precautions which we have to follow. So see here, first we will see these safety measures while handling radioactive material. First we will see this. Those who are dealing with the nuclear energy, those who are working in the nuclear power plants, those who are doing some experiment with the radioactive substances, dealing with the radioactive substances, they must follow these safety precautions. It's clear? They must follow these safety precautions. People working with radioactive material are required to follow strictly and safety measures given below. Number one, they should put on special lead line aprons and lead gloves, because we know that lead radioactive radiations are not able to penetrate the lead. They are not able to penetrate the lead. Therefore, they should put on special lead line aprons and lead gloves. Number two, they should handle the radioactive material with long lead tongs. It's clear. Number three, the safety limit for each type of radiation is known. Therefore, care must be taken to ensure that no one is exposed beyond the safety limit in any case. For this, special film badges are used, which are tested from time to time. You can see here. Special film badges are used, which are tested from time to time to know the amount of radiations to which a particular person has been exposed. It's clear. This is, if you are writing this one, then you write complete. The safety limit for each type of radiation is known. Therefore, care must be taken to ensure that no one is exposed beyond the safety limit in any case. For this, special film badges are used, which are tested from time to time to know the amount of radiation to which a particular person has been affected. And number four, radioactive substances must be kept in a thick lead container with a narrow opening. It's clear this, so that they cannot spread in a wider region, in the wider vicinity. So these are the safety measures while handling radioactive material. Then there are some safety measures for establishing the nuclear power plant. Some safety measures which are used for establishing the nuclear power plant. So see here, number one, so ensure that people working in it are not exposed to nuclear radiation, and in case any accident, there is a minimum spread of radiation. In case of any fallout, there should be the minimum spread of the radiation. Number two, the nuclear reactor of the power plant must be shielded with lead and steel walls so as to stop the radiations from escaping out to the environment during its normal operation. It's clear. Number three, the nuclear reactor must be housed in an airtight building of strong concrete structure which can withstand the earthquakes, fires and explosions. मतलब अगर ये भी आ जाए तो उस बिल्डिंग में कोई इफेक्ट ना आए, क्योंकि अगर वो बिल्डिंग टूटेगी, ब्रेक करेगी, व्हाट विल हैपन? Radiations will spread in the atmosphere and then they will produce a immense biological damage. And number four, there must be a backup of cooling system. Backup means besides the normal cooling system, there must be a backup of cooling system. सपोज क्या है, नॉर्मल कूलिंग सिस्टम फेल हो जाए तो इस बैकअप के थ्रू हम क्या है उसको कूल कर ले, रिएक्टर की कोर को कूल कर ले. There must be a backup of cooling system for the reactor core so that in case of failure of one system, the other cooling system could be used. It's clear. Now after this, there are some safety measures for the safe disposal of the nuclear waste. Safety measures for the safe disposal. So see here, as we know that nuclear wastes are also radioactive. Their activity had decreased from the point of view of their utility, but still they are the radioactive. Still they are emitting the radioactive radiations. Therefore, they cannot be put in the, they cannot be thrown in the open garbage. In open garbage, they cannot be thrown. They should be kept inside the thick lead containers, and these lead containers should be buried deep inside the earth. The radioactive material after its use is known as nuclear waste. The nuclear waste obtained from the laboratories, hospitals, scientific establishments, or power plants must be first kept in thick casks, and then they must be buried in the specially constructed deep underground stores. These stores must be made quite far from the populated areas. The cask can also be buried in useless mines, coal mines. It's clear. And these mines must be sealed after storing the cask. Now, after this, there are some background radiations. So, what are the background radiations? You can see here. Background radiations. It is the omnipresent radiations in the atmosphere. Omnipresent means which are present by itself, by some unknown sources. Background radiations. Radiations. You can see here. Omnipresent radiation. Omnipresent radiations in the atmosphere due to some unknown sources. Their sources are not known, which are called background radiations. Some radioactive radiations are always present in the atmosphere. Even if we test here, we will get some radioactive radiations are present here, though there is no nuclear reactor in the nearby area. But still there are some radiations are present in the atmosphere because of some unknown sources. These radiations are called the omnipresent radiations. These radiations are called the background radiations. Now there are two kinds of background radiations. Number one, internal sources. And internal sources, you can see here, the internal sources, the radioactive substance such as potassium 40 and carbon 14 and radium present inside the body. Radium present in our body. These are the internal sources. Then there are some external sources. External sources, the rays which are coming from the other cosmos, the rays which are coming from the sun, cosmic rays, are naturally occurring radioactive elements such as radon and solar radiation. They also contribute in the background radiations. But the quantity of these radiations are very, very small. That's why they are not harmful in any way to our body. It is not possible for us to keep ourselves away from the background radiations. But the total background radiations from both internal and external sources do not exceed the maximum permissible dose for human safety, so we need not worry about it. So in the next lecture, we will do the exercise. It's clear. We will do the questions which are given here in the exercise. It's clear. Next lecture, either I will take tomorrow or day after tomorrow. So you can see. So today class I am ending here only. In the next lecture, we will do the exercise of this chapter.